Hello everyone. Firstly, a big hi to all of my new subscribers. It's nice to meet you all. I've been really surprised by how friendly and inviting the YouTube gaming community is. Honestly, I really appreciate everybody who's subscribed recently. I know I've only been going for three and a half weeks now, but even so, the response has been fantastic. Recently, I've been thinking about the difficulty of video games. This is something that's really important. I can think of games that I've found far too difficult and that have not managed to capture my attention. I've ended up not carrying on and finishing them as a result. I can also think of games that I've played that have been too easy, and nobody likes an easy game. You feel like your hand's being held, and similarly to difficult games, I can end up giving up if I think a game is too easy. And then that got me thinking, how do modern games differ in terms of difficulty from retro ones? And I don't necessarily think that modern games are easier, but I think that they're difficult in different ways. If I think to the Mega Drive games that I love, they're very challenging, and the way that you kind of get better at those is through practice, it's through repetition, it's through trying that level over and over again, until eventually you get a little bit better at it. Modern games tend to be a bit more gentle in terms of how they ease you into the action. There's so many tutorials, there's practice runs, there's all that kind of thing. And while I don't necessarily mind that, I do certainly think that modern games hold your hand a little bit more. Another thing that I've been thinking about is kind of how much we rely on save games these days. Back in the days of the Mega Drive, a lot of the time it was kind of, if you fuck it up, you die, and maybe sometimes you'd get like a passcode to go back to a certain area. But really, it was about continued practice in acquiring the skills to complete the levels, and then going on from there. One game that's in my mind at the moment is Skyrim. Skyrim was a game that I really, really enjoyed. I loved the graphics, I loved the story, I loved the characters. I loved just spending hours on it, exploring it, and just going around doing my own thing. But I would say that the save game feature, I relied on it too much. For example, if I was exploring a cave that I thought might be a bit dangerous, I'd be saving every 30 seconds, just in case something bad happened. And while that's partly about, how I played it, it was my choice to save it. Because the feature was there, I used it all the time. I'm not saying that saving a game is necessarily a bad thing, but I think that it takes out some of the danger, some of the suspense, and some of the investment in the character. A genre of video games that I really love are roguelike games. I don't know if any of you guys like these or not, but those are games where each thing you do matters, because if you die, that's it. Your save file is deleted, you have to start again. That might sound really harsh and punishing, but actually it means that you invest a lot in the character. You think about your decisions. You're really immersed in the world, because you can't just keep saving all the time and going back to where you were, because that's just not how it works. I would kind of like to see video games going back to that harsher feeling of the old roguelikes. I know certain games have tried to do that recently. Dark Souls would be an example of quite a punishing game, very easy to die, but it didn't have some of the other parts of roguelikes that I really like, like the full randomization of environments and things, and starting completely afresh. That's something that I would like modern video games to explore. Why not try going full roguelike again? And I'm not aware of that many recent popular releases that have been roguelikes, really. I'd like to ask a question of you guys. Do you like your video games to be on the more challenging end? Do you need to feel as though, you're challenged, you've got to learn new skills, you're struggling, and then you get that satisfaction of finally getting there and beating it? Or do you like your games to be a bit more gentle, maybe follow the story, follow the character development, but not have a really punishing time? I'd also like to hear examples of games that you might recommend me playing that you've played and were so hard that you had to give up, and that you never managed to finish, or maybe you didn't even manage to get 5 minutes in. Similarly, I'd like to know examples of games that come to your mind that you think of that were too easy. Let me know either through video responses or comments on the page. Take care, guys. See you all soon.